everybody, and welcome back to my Gargantua series. And yeah, we're still in orbit with this beast of a starship, and of course we want to get somewhere. You can see me firing the massive RCS clusters. They consist of one of those radial attachment points with 8 of those Werner engines attached to them each for each direction. And we're trying to get to our maneuver node and fire those engines. There we go. Okay, now so I'm just firing the engines so I can see how long that maneuver node will take. And the answer is quite long. Okay, so I'm going to skip through this very tedious process because, well, the burning takes half an hour. And even with 3 times physical warp, I'm a little bit too scared to use 4 times physical warp. Even with the 3 times physical warp, it took way too long to just put all of this in one video. Okay, and I also had to do multiple passes. You can see me here heading to the apoapse and adjusting the orbit a little bit because I already dipped into the atmosphere. Fun. Okay. Just increasing my atmo a bit. Not my atmo, my apoapse, of course. And then it's time. There we go, we've done that. And then it's time to head back to the other side to our periapse and burn. Those of you with a little bit of orbital knowledge will know that if you burn on the dark side of the planet, then you will go to a planet on the outer rims, so to speak. So where might we be headed? Well, first of all, we have to do this 1500 second burn, well, meter per second burn, and it took me quite a while, but I managed to get out of the sphere of influence of Kerbin. Yay! And where might we end up? Yes, here we are, the darkest planet of them all. The lie of the solar system, or is it the mystery planet Dres? People are telling that this planet is a lie. It does not exist because nobody ever has been there. Well, we're going to change that. This is actually my very first visit to this little dark potato of a planet. Yeah, I'm playing Kerbal Space Program for, well, about 2 years now? No. 1.5 years? I don't know. However, this is the first time I actually visited Dres, so yay, it's a premiere for me too. Okay, once again we have to do a big burn to get into an orbit around Dres. So once again I have to fire multiple times and adjust the maneuver node as such. And once we've done that, we're going to get, hopefully, a stable orbit around Dres. Okay, now, the 28 or something nuclear engines are firing non-stop. And we're seeing our... Yes! We have now a safe orbit around Dres. Yes, we are at Dres! Okay, let's bring that down a bit so we can circularize around the planet. That will make it easier to drop our payload. No, we're not going to land Gargantua on Dres. I'm really not up for that. But first we have to get a little bit closer. Okay, now. Once again, a burn that takes some time. But the good news is, the longer I burn, the less fuel I have on board of this thing, and the shorter the burn times get, so yay, good for us. Okay, once we've done that, it is time to open up the massive cargo base, because, well, almost everything that is in here is going down onto the surface. Almost everything. But before we can do that, we have to transfer our crew to the vehicle that is going to head down to the surface. Come on. There we go. Billy Bobsy Kerman, now that's a nice name. I'm going to send you down to Dres. And I'm going to skip ahead through that because transferring 8 kerbals to that tiny, well, tiny, it's a 30-ton ship, so it's not that tiny, to that thingy over here. Let's reactivate that RCS tank so we can get this thing out of the cargo bay. There we go. Perfect. Okay, I'm trying to keep it as close to the ship as I can, because I don't want to move the rest of the stuff too far. Okay, so I'm trying to use the decoupler over here, but for that I have to stage it a bit, and for some reason it won't stage for the first 2 times or something, but here we go. Okay, this here is going to be the descent stage or descent part of the vehicle. You can see the fuel tanks and the radial engines. Let's assemble this thingy down there. Okay, get out of the cargo bay. Then twist a little. Get to the side. Okay, and once again I got stuck. Yay! Spatial awareness! Fine. Almost there. Once again my trusty docking port alignment indicator mod, done by Navyfish, is helping me out here. Okay, we're down below. Let's twist this in the right direction. Head up there. Not here, there. Okay, this is looking good. And coming in closer and closer towards that little whale I have built. There we go. Okay, now once we have that installed, let's get the rest out of the cargo bay. So some keen-eyed viewers already said that, well, this looks like it's going to be attached to the other thing, and yes, you are absolutely right. Those are the 4 wheels of that mobile base I'm going to send down to Dres. You can call it a big rover, I call it a mobile base. But first we have to get this wheel assembly out of the cargo bay. This will make it a lot easier disconnecting and connecting those wheels. Once again, I'm trying to keep a close distance to Gargantua or all the other stuff so I don't drift too far away. Let's get the first wheel out of that assembly. There we go. I'm using 2 docking ports to ensure that the orientation of the wheels is perfect when attached to the rover, and also to ensure a more, well, secure hold onto the main vehicle. Okay, the RCS cluster is placed in such a way that, well, I hope at least, that it is in the center of mass of my, well, flying wheel. Look, Ma! It's a wheel flying through space! Yay! No, this is just part of the thing. Okay, let's get this thing onto the other thing. Looking good, on a good approach. Well, it's a bit of a wiggle. Not really that easy to maneuver, especially with a 1000 part monster looming above you and reducing your frame rate. But this is looking good, and once the magnetic locks engage, boom, there we go. Okay, we have got a dock with the wheel. Perfect, let's get onto the second wheel. I spare you the arduous process of transporting this thing from the assembly to the rover and just attach it. Did I say rover? I meant, of course, mobile base. And now it's time for the third one. There we go. Every rover needs a wheel, or at least 3 wheels. Oh, maybe 2 wheels and sort of a skid or something. Or maybe 1 wheel and 2 skid. The possibilities. Okay, closing in on our approach. And we have another perfect dock. Yeah, there we go. Well, as you can see, we started drifting apart a little bit, but it's not a big deal. So the final wheel is leaving the girder. And then it's going to attach to the rover. Mobile base. Okay, almost there. There we go, final approach, and boom! There it is, checking the dock, perfect. Okay, now I have to do some restaging because I want to get rid of stuff before I fire my engines, and I don't want to get rid of the wrong stuff. Okay, let's rename this to the name I have chosen for this vehicle, and it is Dresser. This here is the Dresser. And it's going to land, of course, on Dres and have a great adventure. While, of course, Gargantua has another adventure of its own. But we'll get to that later. Okay, let's get rid of those RCS stuff for the wheels. We don't need that anymore. Spin around and kick it away. You may notice that the frame rate has bumped up significantly. That's because we have moved away from Gargantua. And while the other footage in this video was sped up 4 times in post-processing, this here is the speed that I got out of KSP itself. So yeah, that's actually quite great. Okay, now firing my thrusters so I can get down to the surface, but since the thrust to weight ratio is not that high, it's going to take a while. Okay, I skipped ahead a bit and we're already close to landing. I had to transfer some fuel from the center to the landing stuff, so the Delta V readings is a bit off than before, but yeah, it doesn't matter. Okay, we're safe on Dres. That's a first. My first touchdown on Dres ever in 1.5 or 2 years of Kerbal Space Program. Wow. Okay. Whoops. No. Once again, I have to reshuffle my staging because we don't want to, well, do the wrong thing here. Okay, let's get those decouplers in the right stage. There we go. Fire up those engines so they can clear the Dresser. And boom! Look at those things spin! Explosions! Yay! Boom! Well, that was safe. Okay, let's get rid of that bottom plate. We don't need that anymore, so we're shedding useless weight. Goodbye. And yeah, this is now my main vehicle on Dres, and it also has a slight surprise up its, well, not sleeve, but mouth rather. But we're going to get to that in another episode. Until then, thanks for watching. Goodbye.